My name's Lisi Raskin, and I guess for the last 10 years I've had a research-based art practice, which means that I spend a lot of time thinking about a topic, reading about it, doing interviews, and then try to synthesize that information into visual work. My work spans large-scale installations, performances, paintings, sculpture, other discrete objects. What's my relationship to the genre of landscape? Well, I think primarily it was formulated by having grown up in suburban South Florida and using sort of the windscreen or the windshield of a car and thinking about that kind of filmically and sort of what enters into this frame of reference. So I find that my best landscape thinking comes, looking through an airplane window, looking through a car window, looking through a train window, and that there's something about the transportation or movement of me on an object through a space and the experience of that time. So I think like that is like my embodied relationship with landscape, and I think I also have a politicized relationship with landscape in the sense that as all that's going on, and I'm thinking, wow, that's a vast space, or oh my God, those trees are huge. I'm also thinking, well, actually, how did the railroad get here? Or how were these roads made, and who made them, and with what money? But I'm always aware of myself as an actor or an agent, someone who's implicated by the act of putting fuel in a car and driving through, on Eisenhower's interstate system. Basically, I've been thinking in terms of using the painting, the fall, as the landscape that I see out the window of that installation space. So taking the landscape quite literally in the painting and thinking about what are the spatialized aspects, or what does it mean to be in proximity if we take that landscape literally, and then actually using the site loosely to locate myself or the subject or the inhabitant of the shack in relationship to this picture. And so I'm like particularly interested in it, I guess not zeroing in on where like the painting is meant to depict, but thinking more like regionally and where are the borders and what's going on, and then sort of like projecting another sense of subjectivity on top of it, like wanting to be like, okay, yeah, actually this is an American artist making this installation, I am this American artist. So what am I thinking of when I'm thinking of India now? I'm thinking of Pakistan and I'm thinking of Afghanistan. So let me just think about like that vista in the painting as though I could, see and feel like how things are charged. I hope that like the viewer will also want to sort of like get down on their haunches and sort of experience the tactility of the material, and then maybe like loosely that posits in their brain the meaning of the figure or their body, but like in an embodied way. Because I think it can be quite confusing looking at a painting where it's like an image of a person. And so what are the things that we can do that sort of bring it back to, okay, yes, this is a picture of a body, but you have a body and these are our bodies, and what happens to bodies, and like what does labor do to bodies, and like how does working with a hammer every day make your hand really rough, or that sort of stuff. And so I think like bringing it down to a question of like what does it mean to shift yourself from having a 64.5 inches high relationship as the center point of a painting to, oh, actually this isn't just ocular, this is also embodied, and maybe there can be some kind of empathy there. So hopefully there are subtle things like coming up a ramp and changing the floor of the installation and changing the light inside of the installation. I wanted to sort of make this space a different space than, that requires different codes of behavior than the museum itself requires. Maybe a little bit of a free space.